file system, message, groups in Blackboard Learn, groups in Angel, and your mailboxes. So with that, we really thought it was pretty clear of who needed to worry about migrating their content. And the questions that Donna gets, she's, said you must hold this session soon. So here I am. So the big questions that we're getting, and I want to make sure I address them and then give you time to answer your questions, is people say, does this mean me? Well, I don't know how else to say this. I want to look at the camera when I say this. No, I don't know how else to say this, but if you have content in Angel, and it's not in Blackboard Learn, and you might ever want it, you need to download it. Because if you can't call us June 2nd and say, oh, I didn't know you meant me, because we won't have Angel. It's gone. So we're trying so hard. We're even actually, for anyone who might be a program coordinator, we did a special flyer just for adjuncts that we've asked the division chairs to forward to program coordinators to then forward to any adjuncts in their programs. And also it will be a home mailing coming out of academic affairs, stressing the importance, because we know there's a lot of adjuncts out there who maybe are not, you're supposed to look at college email, but let's face it, we know they have other emails. So we are doing our best to at least get the word out there. But if you have content in Angel, then yes, it means you. So just to clarify that question, that could be content in the file storage, a learning object repository, a course, a group, wherever you might have uploaded content. If you want a copy of it, you have to back it up. Backing it up is going to be very simple. So we're recommending that everyone at least do that. Get yourself a flash drive if you don't have one with a large amount of data storage, and put it all in one in one safe place. I don't recommend putting it on your office computer desktop. You never know when that computer might no longer work or whatever. So backing it up to an external hard drive or some cloud storage or a flash drive would be my recommendation. Second is the questions that we're getting are, do I need to sign up for Group C? Group C is just our final group of migration. At this point, we have 117 faculty signed up. So we're really trying to get on board with who we need to communicate with and what we need to do, because 117 faculty multiplied by how many sections they might have in Angel that they want to move, you can only imagine what kind of task we're faced with between now and June 1st. So we've had special requests. Can you just do my training one-on-one? I so wish we could. It's Donna and I just right now, and we do have other things to do besides migration, so we just can't do these personal sessions, no matter how much you want to pay us or how much wine you want to bring. We just can't do it. So, we don't take bribes like that. But anyway, Group C means that if you join this learning community, then you're on a list. And if you're on a list, we can make a group and communicate with you just specifically. So when you see a message, you'll know it's relation to this migration, and maybe it won't be ignored. So it will provide you important tips, important things to do to prepare content to be moved. I still say number one, it's on this sheet, the green sheet. If you haven't looked at it, maybe we can hand those out or pass them around. This is an updated. I know you somehow you got a pink version in your mailbox, which it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be gold. I don't know how pink it happened, but I don't know it's something just didn't come out right when it went from here to the print shop. But we updated this to even clarify it more by stepping it out, step 1, 2, and 3. And step 2 does show that if you become part of Group C, you not only become part of a list, then you can also provide us a list of course sections that you have in Angel that you want moved over. Now those are going to be only sections that are in the master schedule for summer or fall. Because we have Matt Mackey building the shells right now. They're going to be sitting in Blackboard Learn probably before you even learn how to log in. And so that SUNY, who's supporting our migration, is going to take a spreadsheet of all these sections and how we provide it. And they're going to run a process to take the content from Angel and move it to Learn. So one, you should have a downloaded backup copy just in case. But you won't have to do anything to move your own content. SUNY will take care of it. But we need to provide them that list. So if you're not signed up for Group C, And then if you don't respond to Donna's questions about which sections, we don't know what to move.
So we're not moving our own content?
You won't be
You're
if you
moving-
join Group C, if you're signed up, and then respond to Donna's message, that which she will be asking soon, which sections you need moved from. It has to be a section that is in the master schedule for summer or fall. And if it's not in there and you have an old course, you're gonna have your backup on a flash drive. So when the course does appear in a master schedule and you need to put that content in, it is literally like one file uploaded to zip file.
Can we put the content in the summer shell before it's moved? Before whoever moves it moves it?
That's what you want to do.
Right.
Any content that you want is going to be pulled out of that course and moved over to Blackboard.
Yeah, you're bringing me up, you're just one step ahead of me,
All
but
right.
yes, no, good
Sorry, my
question.
head is-
No, that's a good question. Her question is, what if I want to clean up or modify the content in Angel before it's moved? First of all, when Donna's, as soon as she's got Group C finalized and creates a list, it's one of the first things you're gonna receive is a checklist of what you should do to clean your content in Angel. So that's a good question. Because some people have content in the Learning Object Repository that might be linked and not copied, and if it's linked, the link's gonna break. So she's got instructions that will be coming your way explaining what to do to clean up your course in Angel before it moves. It's not a lot, but there are some things that you would wanna do.
Didn't you say that checklist is already available?
It is.
Oh, it is, now I'm gonna show you where it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you wanna know what that is today and get started, we have it all, you are Group C, we've already done this, with, over 100, I don't know, maybe 100 people or whatever, so we're definitely, have all the documentation, I'm gonna show you that, yes.
How soon for those teaching summer class, how soon will that be available in Blackboard, so we can get used to Blackboard?
Well, the training begins
March 4th.
March 4th. The course shell, to be honest, the course shell for summer is gonna be in there, like, probably now. It's probably already there. You might not even have an account, you might have a course. Getting the accounts and the course is set up. So, once we get the final list, SUNY doesn't take too long to move the content, but we're just they wanna do it in one shot. They don't want us emailing every day, oh, someone added a section, because then they're gonna tell us to do it on our own. And we can, you zip it from one, put it on a flash drive or storage device, and you upload it to another. But they can do this in one big process, and we prefer that they do that for us. So, we need the list. In order to get the list, she needs to finalize who's all involved, okay? So, if the sooner we get that, we can start the process, and you can probably even get started going in to Learn. There's so much on-demand, there's an on-demand center, there's great, Blackboard Learn has awesome videos to watch. You don't have to do the face-to-face training. However, SLN is coming here. They're going to do some face-to-face workshops. They're going to offer webinars. If you can't come to a face-to-face workshop, I always say sign up for the webinar because they're going to just send you the recording whether or not you ever log in. As long as you're registered, they'll send you a recording. If you don't want to do the recording, we're going to do a bunch of other wraparound sessions, open sessions. There's a lot of opportunities to fit everyone's schedule. We're also going to be working with scheduling with adjuncts to see would they like me to run some webinars on my own in the evening or on Saturday or have a face-to-face session. They always say they want it, but then they never come. So we're going to require registration and require a minimum number to be registered before, I'm going to come in the evening or the weekend, but I will. And also, a lot of these recordings can be sent out. So there's going to be many ways to learn, and you can decide whatever way is best for you. I do say, though, if you're teaching online, you need these workshops. Because you use the whole system. You use it for your gradebook, you use it for, you have to know how to explain your new navigation. When you say welcome, what are you telling students to do? There's some different terminology. You need to know how to grade the work that gets submitted. You need to know how to, content will come over, but you need to know how, there's a lot more tools in Blackboard Learn, there's different tools. You need to know how to use them. And if you create discussions, and you use this system for discussions, that's all between workshop 1, 2, and 3. So I would highly recommend, I can't force anyone to do that, but I would highly recommend it be beneficial to you and probably relieve a lot of your stress before you teach a course in another whole new system to do so. But, you know, that's your choice. I mean, it clearly states on here, you know, we're highly recommended that everyone at least does workshop 1 in some way, shape, or form, because, you know, you at least learn the navigation and you get an overview of the system and the basics of creating content. Not everyone here uses discussion forums and grade book, or not everyone takes, not everyone gets assignments submitted electronically or grades them electronically. So it's going to depend on how you use the system and what you need. If you have current groups in Angel, you know, I know we have lots of groups. They got to be moved.
So that was
Okay.
one of my questions too. I'm advisor for Human Services Group, so I have access to all the students in that curriculum, all the faculty. Will that be moved into some sort of?
What will be moved is, first of all, Doug Mandel had created a spreadsheet. I had him email every person that was assigned as an administrator of a group in Angel and ask them if they wanted the group to be moved over to Blackboard Learn. If you didn't respond to that and you have a group, I'm going to take the master list and send it one more time. Because I'm going to do the groups and in charge of grabbing that list. A lot of people responded saying they wanted to delete the groups, they were no longer of use, and others said, yes, we want to move them. If you have a group, I'm going to obviously send a message. And when I mean have a group, I don't mean be a member of it. I mean, are you the main contact? Are you the administrator of that group? And we'll do the process again of moving whatever content is in the group to what is called an organization in Blackboard Learn. And once the organization and the content are moved into Blackboard Learn, you will need to go through the same process that you did when you started the group by sending a message or filling out a form that goes to Matt Mackey in our IT department stating, these are the people that should have editing rights, and these are the people I need added, like students or whatnot. Now, Colleen, you wouldn't be able to do that till you have an advisory list or something ready based on whatever term it was.
So they're not advisees, it's every student who's enrolled in.
Yeah, so you'd have to put in a request again to say, okay, my group is now in Blackboard Learn, and
Okay.
I need these people, you know, because he handles all accounts.
Okay,
So if there were like, if I wanted a group sent and I'm the administrator, and I'll pick on Don because I'm looking at you, Don, that you are he's going to be an editor in my group too, so you have editing rights, like instructor rights. I have to put in a request, say, Matt, please add him as an editor to my organization in Blackboard Learn. Yes.
I currently can add students on my own. Will I still be able to do that? To the honors group? Like I can add them as I admit them. Will I still be able to?
Not initially. You're going to need to go through.
All right.
You're going to need to go through Matt to get that started, but
And then.
it's something we can look at.
Okay.
So there's so many settings for us going through this migration. We've actually been on a conference call every Wednesday for over a year now to set up this system, to make decisions on system settings, roles, who could do what tools do we want enabled, and we have, you know, we are a lot farther than many other campuses in SUNY. I think we're so further ahead in spending the time to do this that, you know, that we're presenting at CIT a whole birds of a feather session about the migration process, along with a few other campuses. But, you know, just the process itself is time consuming, and there's probably more tools and settings that we still are learning about. So those kind of questions are good for us, because what we do is we take them on those Wednesday morning calls and we ask SUNY to go investigate it with Blackboard Learn, so we don't have to spend all the time doing that. So I'll ask the question, can someone do that? And they'll check our settings and say, no, they can't, but let me get back to you. So those questions are good. If you want to send it to me,
Okay.
we'll put it on our little Wednesday morning list.
Sure.
And that question hasn't come up yet, so.
It's so much easier.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And so I'll find out the answer for you for that way. Does that kind of sound, I mean, do you have any questions about the group kind of thing? Okay. So it's just like when you started a group in Angel, you started it, you put in a request to get it created, and then you add the content and you ask Matt who should be added. And then he did that. He can batch file things, so you can pull them out of Banner and just batch load groups of people and things like that. So for him, he said it's the same, it's really the same process, but the people, because the individual accounts of people won't automatically be added in that move.
I do have a question about content though.
Mhm.
So the one course I teach, the internship, I just transfer that to each new semester shell. I only need to copy one of those courses, no need to copy
Nope.
the old.
One, you only
just
need
one.
one, you
If
need
I-
one. If there's
Okay.
some reason you feel you would like to have a copy of older
I
terms,
don't.
yeah, we're not gonna move, you know, we're not gonna move multiple terms of a section. We're just gonna take, I mean, let's face it, SUNY was gonna back up our entire system. So, you know, but it will be costly if we should have to ask them to go digging because you had a student who's complaining and you need to go back to an Angel section from 3 semesters ago. It's gonna cost us a lot of money. So that's why we're pretty much saying we're not gonna do that.
I keep paper copies of
But
all that grade,
think-
so
yeah,
I just
but-
think I need to copy just
But
one.
there might be old sections, you know, right now in Angel, I think you can, you click that little pencil in your course section, it shows you like, you know, a few semesters back. It can't hurt you to download them all. I mean, for $20 at Office Max or somewhere, you can buy, I don't even know how many gigs of a flash drive, they're pretty large and inexpensive, and that's a lot of storage on one little device. So, me personally, I went and downloaded and saved all the sections that do exist in Angel. And one was moved, the most current. Just to have it, okay? You never know when something can creep up and, you know, you wanna be able to go back.
How far back can we go?
I think that there's about at least 3 terms. 3 terms available. So you probably have a.
Everything from 08's gone.
We've only always kept about 3-4 semesters. I'm not sure, I have to look, but I wanna say maybe 3. It's not gone, it doesn't get deleted, it's been backed up at iTech, you know, who's our hosting provider. But if you needed something from there, we are SLN members, we get two times we can go get what they call a restore. The third is $500. So, basically, if, you know, and we only will do a restore for someone teaching an online course. We've had people that have deleted their whole grade book just because they're using the system for a grade book, and we will not pay $500 to get the grade book back. If they want to pay $500, they can get whatever they like back, or their division wants to cover that. But that usually doesn't happen, so it's pretty clear, you know, download it and save it. It's pricey. And we're not going to have an instant sitting here somewhere like hidden that no one knows about that we can just go into Angel. We won't have access. Don and I won't even have an Angel instance. Angel itself won't, is only, even have a life till the beginning of 2017. So SUNY's working really hard to get everyone moved to Learn. That's why they only took so many groups at a time, so many campuses at a time could do it. Buff State, us and Monroe are kind of in, another one are in the pipeline right now, and others are starting, and everyone's in their own phases. It's been extremely organized, probably the most organized migration that I've seen, and the SUNY people have been awesome, they've been wonderful and helpful, and they've been more than willing to, you know, to help us with everything and moving all this content. So we can't complain about the service we're getting, but we just want to make sure everyone knows what to do. It's not a lot of time on your part. It's, you know what it will take. It takes longer to download it because of the network, and you know, just time of day and slowness. But I don't know, maybe pick different times and just keep pulling them down. Any questions on that so far? Okay, learning object repositories. Anyone storing stuff in there? Is it just a storage facility full of junk at this point?
Trying to thin it out.
Huh?
Trying to thin it out,
Yeah.
but it's.
So that's what most of us have. Sometimes we use the lore for sharing content amongst groups of people, divisions, departments, and those are the folks that will need to work to move it. We have choices in Blackboard, and we do not have an equal to the lore, Learning Object Repository, but what we do have is a content collection for your file storage. We have Explore, which is a shareable learning object repository, and there's also those organizations. And it depends on what you want to do as to which of the 3 or all 3 that you might need to do. So what I've asked I talked to Babette in nursing yesterday, and I'm gonna have a consultation with her, because nursing does a lot of shared things. And it's easier for me to sit with her when I wanna come up with a plan than it is to just put it out there. But Donna and I have spent months trying to figure out the Blackboard Learn content collection. So if we're spending months figuring it out, it's not just as simple as the lore. But there is a way to share things with the institution, there's a way to share things with departments. We finally, through those Wednesday calls, realized we didn't have a setting set right, and that's why we were just baffled why we couldn't figure something out, which we just found out the other day. So hopefully, we're hoping to put some materials together in a workshop about, do you use the lore now to share things, to come and learn about the options. And of course, we'll do that in an electronic one, a recorded session, a face-to-face, so. If you just use the Learning Object Repository right now to store like an old version of your course, you don't need to. If you use it to just store, your syllabus, that's just a file content storage. Download it somewhere, you can upload it easily into the content collection in Blackboard Learn. It's the sharing piece that makes it more complicated. That's what makes it complicated about, who I want to share with. Like, I know in humanities, I do believe, I think the 101, isn't the 101 course have like a Learn Object Repository? And it's so adjuncts can get in there, right, and have some materials. And we can do that, but we kind of need to work with you on that. We know that 98% of the content in the Angel lore is garbage. It's just housekeeping time to delete it or download it. Most of it doesn't need to be moved. And I'm even one of them. I put it in there and I go look at it now and I can see Mark, he said, well, I've been trying to thin it out. You store things, and then you forget what you even have stored, and you wonder, it just becomes so old. So part of the checklist that Donna's gonna send you is to do some housekeeping in Angel. It's time, it's time to go through that lore and delete what you don't have. And if there's anything important, just download it. It's just, most of it is just individual files. It's only if you need to share it amongst a group, a department, or, something like that, or even institution-wide, then that's when you really need to talk to us or learn a little bit more about the sharing capabilities. It's not the file storage, your own individual file storage, that's simple. It's the sharing that we have to think about what might be the best way to do that. And I did run a session during PD days, and then, one was canceled for low and I don't know, the weather. I think we had a blizzard or something. And then I did another session, and then, the funny thing is that now we've learned even more about it, so we'll update that workshop and try to do another one, and now that we're a little more clear on how it works. Explore is a product that's attached to Blackboard Learn, it's attached to Angel, and it's attached to Moodle Jewel. Those are all 3 Blackboard Learn products. They built Explore so that you can take content right now from Angel, you can send it up to Explore, you can go to Blackboard Learn, you can take it down from Explore, you can go to Moodle Jewel. If you work at another campus that uses that product, you can go to Explore and add things, download. So it was a way to bring things from all their products into this cloud-based shared repository. I'm going to be doing more sessions on Explore as well. But you could take a document, you can put it in Explore, and you can say, I'm going to let the public, anyone who has a Blackboard Learn account, if they could find it, they can use it, right? That kind of thing. Like these shared open education resources, that's what it's for. Like Merlot, you put it up there. Or you can put your own content up there and say, I only want to share it with those that are associated with Niagara County Community College. Or I only want to share it with this group. You can make these choices of whether it's completely private for yourself or shared with other groups or campus-wide or anyone in Blackboard Learn. So that's one way to share. You can share files, you can share quizzes. The problem with Explore is that when you create something in Explore, it takes away it strips it down to what is called a SCORM compliant content. So what that means is SCORM compliance is so that different systems, you can unzip things and zip them up between multiple platforms of things. And so, the content that gets added to Explore will take away like some features in Angel, or features in Blackboard Learn. And so a discussion built in Explore, if you go into Learn or Angel and say, I want that discussion in my class, it will actually look different than what you're normally seeing if you built it in Learn or Angel. That's one of the problems that we see, because then it would be inconsistent for students. If you say, well, I'm going to grab these 2 discussion topics that Audrey created, and I like them, and she's willing to share. So I pull those 2, and then I go and create one in Blackboard Learn for my students. They will look different, and they will have different functionality. And the reason is, one is really working inside Learn, the other one is really linking out to that Cloud Explorer and working from that system. It's really a system built on Moodle, so it's almost like, it's very clean looking, it's fabulous. If you could build your whole course in it, probably would be better than taking bits and pieces. Really simple, but there's the pros and cons of all these decisions, and we're trying to wrap our head around them too. So, sharing a file through Explore, it's not a big deal. I'll link a file. It's when you use discussions or like a graded assignment. I was testing out a graded assignment. It's an assignment. Students normally would submit, right, their file attachment or type in the box. Well, so they submitted something. I think it was the backup plan I did for my course this semester. And then I'm like looking at my grade book, needs grading. There's a little thing, needs grading in Blackboard Learn, and I can't find it. Okay, well, I know I signed it, and it's showing me if I go back into my module where I did, but I can't find it. Well, so you have to find it in a different location. It doesn't exactly connect with certain things, so you got to be very careful about using Explore for those things. So my stance so far has been, if it's a file or something you want to share, or a page, like a page you might create, a video, fine. But if it's something that needs to be interacted with the students, a discussion, an assignment, a quiz, just don't do it yet until you think about it. Because you either need to do all of them or all in Learn. I wouldn't recommend mixing and matching, that kind of thing. And I'll do a workshop on it so you can see it, see how it works, and then make your own decision. I just kind of want to give you a little info about that. Because, now there's like so many tools and options. And who even knows what will the learning management system be in 5 years? I don't know. I'm sure it'll all be cloud-based of some sort and mixing and matching between all kinds of systems. But for now, we've had to move to Learn. We know Angel has an end of life. We weren't given a choice to say, hey, go out and look at these learning management systems and see what you like. You want Desire to Learn, you want Moodle, it's really, SUNY preferred platform that came down from the SUNY provost to the presidents to the CAOs, and basically it's not necessarily a choice, it was more when are you migrating? And there's good to it too though. I think the good part of the system, there are going to be more campuses in SUNY using the same system. It's going to be helpful for students that transfer to other programs, be used to the system instead of everyone kind of having their own. The local campuses, the local schools that we know our students transfer to, pretty much most of them have gone the route of Learn, even private, Niagara University. Canisius is the only one I know that has gone to Desire to Learn. Originally they were going to do Blackboard Learn. But Buffalo State, UB, they're all using Blackboard Learn. And so hopefully, at least for the student side, it was going to be much easier for them to transition and become comfortable with it. And with more campuses using the same system, should you be an adjunct somewhere else, maybe you won't have to learn so many systems too. I know we have people that teach at Canisius or teach at other campuses, Niagara University or Buff State, UB. It'll make it a little easier for you too once you get on one system, because most likely you could just, easily export, import, and it's all going to look right, your grade book, into those other systems. Any questions on that so far? the look on your face, Don, if I could just, I want the video camera
Oh.
so that I could turn it and just focus on the look on your face. What do you think in there?
I have 19 questions, I'll ask you later.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, yes.
When you back something up in Angel into a zip file, now this is, maybe I haven't found the trick, but it seems like you get one file, suppose you're looking for a specific file in module 3. Your choice pretty much is, you have to zip the, take the whole thing up, and then, go through your modules and find it. There doesn't seem to be an easy way to just isolate and find the file.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not, Mark. And really, when I say back it up, it's so that if we needed it in Blackboard Learn and I have a course shell, it's easier for me to pull that whole course in there and give you what you're looking for.
Okay.
If you have if you needed to do that, we can easily put a practice course in there that you could zip it in.
That's what I was doing
It's
before.
easier
yeah.
to find
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
But if you do know that there's maybe some content you might want to get back to, you might want to go in and just individually, instead of that whole course copy, is individually maybe download a few items that you might want.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay.
It's
So
much
that hasn't
easier.
changed in Blackboard, hasn't made it easy, that transition a little easier to be able to do that?
It's still a whole file.
It's the whole thing,
Whole
okay.
file upload, and then you can find,
Fine.
it does put a lot of your content into the content collection,
Mhm.
and then you can view some things, but it's easier that's just to pull the whole thing in and get what you want, and then if you have to delete the whole course, it's even easier to do that.
Okay. Do you need a practice course? Could you do it in the same course that are overwriting the original? And put it in a separate folder or overwrite?
Probably a good question. I don't recommend it. I'd say let's get you a practice course. But it's a question I could ask.
Okay.
Okay? Because, I think I did that with I didn't remember loading it, and then I did it again, and then what happened was really easy for me to get rid of the double content, but the grade book was a mess.
Okay.
It kept, because I said, yeah, bring in my grade book too,
Okay.
and then I had like 2 or 3 of the same thing. And at that point, it was easier for me to delete the whole course and load it back once than it was to go through and delete it, so so my recommendation is get a practice course,
okay.
and you can't hurt anything else that's live and students are in there.
Are we going to be able to merge classes? Like, I love merging my sessions.
I'm gonna revert that question to Donna. Would you like to take the stage? And then I'm gonna show you some resources.
At this point, it's gonna be going through the same procedures that you're doing right now, where you would put in an OIT help desk request and ask Matt to combine those courses. Now, for those of you that are teaching online and hybrid, think very carefully about merging your courses, because discussions do not work the same way in Blackboard as they did in Angel, where you could set up groups and have the groups discuss just amongst themselves. And we have somebody that's experimenting this semester with setting up groups and assigning groups to specific discussions. Bob Morris did it last semester, and he totally scrapped the whole thing and did it separately. And so just kind of keep that in mind.
Those
don't
nice
think
buttons in the grade book that say, oh, just show me that section. It doesn't work.
doesn't work. Yeah. So there's little ways that we've learned, and we've by trial and error. But I don't think you use anything for discussions in your courses, so it probably wouldn't be an issue for you.
Yeah. The merging, the functionality's there, but there's those things that you might want to make a decision, because we merge courses to help us with the management of a course, right? And so you got to weigh out, is it really going to save me time managing it or just keeping them separate? Bob Morris found that it was taking too much time to manage his course and decided to get them all separated again, and so that was his choice to do that. Donna, can you just turn that light down? I just want to point you to where some of these resources are, so that, we keep referring back to it. And this is our e-learning blog, NCCC elearning.com, and that little card in the middle is a card that you can take if you want to put it somewhere so you don't ever forget, but these cards they're links to our blog. And I'm going to pass those out. And we put all resources that we have for faculty, from workshops, training, events, our quality review project, technology tips. We have a whole section on resources for teaching well online, and you can see that we've got lots of stuff in there. This is where we put everything. If I do a presentation, my recording of my presentation is on this blog. I'm going to Orlando in a few weeks to present on our quality review project for the e-learning conference, and it will be here. It'll be up here, ready to go before I even walk in the door, you know, at that conference. So this is the place this is the placeholder for all of our stuff. And we've got some info here on Open SUNY. I'm going to be doing an info session on that as well. I know people have questions about that. So you can see here, in like faculty resources, we have, you know, we've got a whole e-learning YouTube channel, and so there's lots of things here that we have to support anyone who's using our system. What we call e-learning means if you even add a syllabus in Angel, you've web-enabled your course. So, you know, web-enabling, hybrid, or online. But what we did do, on the home page, I did this to also make it easy for adjuncts, because the adjunct flyer that we gave them said, just get to NCCC, you know, the elearning.com, and right here, you know, here's your, we put them right on the front. Instructions to download, back up your content. Donna Scott, she typed it out and also created a screencast, so it's your choice. So that they can just click, one click, and get right to what they need to do to download their content. And also, we were getting tons of questions about the training schedule, you know, so we've got that. It has gone around via attachment system message and through the other means that we have to communicate with faculty through Angel and Blackboard Learn. But here it is, and you can download it if you like. This we just loaded it into a Dropbox cloud storage so anyone could grab it if they need it. But we do have this whole migration resources section. And we've built it out based on questions, concerns, tips, things we've learned along our migration path, which we've started the planning phase of this last spring. So if you were to just click on the link here, it would give you some information about open sessions. And Donna's little FAQ list has become like the Craigslist of SUNY for migration. And she started building this Google Doc with all these questions and tips and things and building it out. And then I shared this at a SUNY session, and then it was sent around to campuses, and like everyone who seems to be migrating is now using our resources for doing so, which is fine. That's okay. We get a little more exposure. But she's got a whole FAQ section that if you have the question, I'm sure she's answered it here, and how to do it. And how can you do Angel macros?
And it's searchable, so you could go in and
It's
look for
searchable. Can I copy rubrics from one to the other? How do I use films on demand? Course announcements. Now, I've told her that now that it's grown so large, maybe we can reorganize a little bit, but it's there. And there's, you know, anything about tests, surveys, grade center, discussions. These are things that, you know, we've learned from faculty questions. So she's been documenting everything from the beginning so that we could list it. You can see this page goes pretty, you know, kind of on and on and on and on and on. And where did I get that? Again, I just clicked on Blackboard Learn Migration Resources. And then we have, there's like a comparison chart. You could go right now. If you want to just go play around in Blackboard Learn, you don't want to wait for an account or a course. It's called Course Sites. Blackboard Learn lets any instructor build 3 sections of their own course at their own whatever they want for free on Course Sites. You know, we wouldn't have to deliver it here, but, you know, I don't know what I do elsewhere. But you could go there and it's called Course Sites. Fill this out. And then they give you all these little videos and guided tour. It's really nice, actually. That's how the first thing we did to start learning Blackboard Learn. And it walked us through, and, you know, we kind of got up to speed that way. So that's an option. You know, if you want to just say, I want to go home and give it a whirl. Course Sites is a place you can play around with. Blackboard Learn Help has been, we get a lot of resources from there. It's searchable. We got a lot of nice little videos on how to do things. You can take a look at that. They have this on-demand learning center. You know, if you just feel like, you know, I can watch a few videos and know what I need to do, if that's the kind of learner you are, you can come on over here and watch recommended ones. There's a whole thing here it goes through if you want to learn about understanding and building a course, communicating, collaborating. These are all videos. So you can choose what you'd like to watch. They also have an Ask the Doctor section, if you want to ask them any questions. So those are all available from the main, just migration resources page. There's also a channel on YouTube called Quick Hit Videos. And it's a series of videos in YouTube all about Blackboard Learn. They're all kinds of things. All kinds of date man. I will tell you one thing. I just want to tell you one nice little thing I think, now, only because date management came up. And you will learn this in training. But there are a few features that we never had in Angel. I don't want to, make it sound like, Blackboard Learn isn't good. There's a lot of features that we never had in Angel that you're going to enjoy in Blackboard Learn. A lot of other tools, and some things are far easier. It's just, you have to get through that initial change and stop thinking, I did this in Angel this way, I did this in Angel this way. That's what will be the biggest problem. It's a new product, new way of doing it, and I think once you kind of set your mind in that light, you find that it doesn't take more time, some things can be easier, and it's fun. But one neat feature I love is that you can set a date manager. If you actually, in your content in Blackboard Learn, give due dates, and it will go on a calendar, and it, Matt sets the opening of the course at a certain date, when it goes live, so it knows the start and the end. You can just use this date manager and you click, look, let's say you set it up in fall with due dates and that, you can click it and just say the start date of the new semester, and it will adjust every date and due date accordingly.
Oh, that's nice.
So if it knows that you opened Mod 1 and the first assignment was due in 7 days, if you've given it now, my course starts January 13th, it's going to go and start there and go, okay, 7 days, this should be due, whatever. So you don't have to go through every content item to reset the dates. However, I had to, in fall, when I taught the first section, I didn't have everything with a date, but it will be by the end of this semester, knowing that has come out, because that's a big time saver for prepping a new course, especially multiple sections. So there's little things like that you would learn in this training, and other tools that maybe you've never used, or options. There's a nice inline grader. If students submit, how we've always done, submit in RTF, rich text format. Well, you're going to change to say submit it in a doc form or docx format. And when they do that, there's a built-in feature from a tool called Crocodoc, and it pops in, and so when you click on an attachment, it pulls it in the window and it allows you to grade right there. And you can mark it up a little bit. And so you don't have to actually download the file, then reattach it if you were to make edits. So things like that can save you a lot of time if you do a lot of that type of grading. And there's also video everywhere. If you have, you set up an account on YouTube, I have a channel on YouTube, I can click anywhere inside Learn, when I'm talking to students, grading, creating a page, click that button, if my webcam's on, I can make a video right there, and it will automatically push it to YouTube, but it will come straight into the course, so I don't have to do a lot of steps. Students have the feature too, so if they're tired of just typing, and you're tired of giving them text, and they're probably tired of reading your text, you can do things with audio and video as part of discussions as opposed to just texting. I mean, typing out text. You could set up, you don't have to have a webcam either, it will do like a screencast type of thing. So there's little tools like that some might say, okay, well that will make things easier, faster, I like that. So I don't want to create any negativity because there's certain things you do in Angel and they don't exist in Learn. There's a lot on the positive side too. Yes?
Yes, sir. Say, I know there's instructions on how to zip your information into your jump drive or whatever. So say you don't teach that same class for another year or so. Is there instructions on how to then load it from my jump drive up into, because obviously it's not in the same format from Angel to Blackboard. So, okay.
It's okay.
It just knows what to do then, okay.
But if you do know, like let's say you teach this course that you have, you're thinking of business English.
Well, yeah, I mean, as an adjunct, I could teach one class 1 year and not teach that same class for
So
another
what my
2 years.
recommendation to you would be, and this is kind of just because of your situation, I would say if you know that your course is not in summer or fall,
Right,
then send Donna a message saying, can I please have a practice course shell?
Okay,
And take your course and move it in there. And
okay,
then it's in learning, you can participate in any training and just, you know, the way I look at it is you get more time to get acclimated, right? And then you could play around with Blackboard Learn, and you're in a training course, and when your live shell sometime in the future comes about, the one you're gonna use, we can just move it from one to the other.
so there's instructions on how to get it from where I saved it into it, or I would just
Well,
have
if
it
you
moved
sign up for
before?
group, if you sign up for Group C,
I am,
then, and you just put that course and then ask for a shell, then we can work that out.
okay,
It's not difficult to do.
okay.
If you're using electronic homework manager, like I'm using Connect, should I start creating a parallel course for the fall in Connect, and loading my assignments in so that we can sync them later, or should I wait until?
No, there's a button to sync them from
But I
Learn.
mean, like, so should I set up a fall course now and start copying my assignments in so that it can be ready to upload for the fall, I mean, to sync in the fall?
I don't know if the sync is going to come over from Angel to Blackboard because the sync's gonna be different.
Well, right
Um,
now, I don't sync in Angel, I manually
Okay.
enter my grades. But I just wondering if I should set up create another course with the fall date so that they can be.
Well, you're gonna get
incorporated.
your Angel core shells within the next couple of weeks. So you'll be able to start creating that now.
Blackboard
And
Learn.
then that will be moved over to Blackboard
If
automatically.
you use publisher content, you're gonna love Blackboard, because we have, we can do like single sign-on to certain things.
Right.
We have, what's happening with your Connect, it's really using this technology called it's learning technology interoperability, LTI links. So it provides a sync back and forth between things. You know, I use Soft Chalk that does that, and I have it built, we set up a building block in Learn so that when my students take a quiz in my Soft Chalk lessons, it goes to my gradebook and Learn.
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, the technology piece, so that link, the LTI link, that is already set up and configured for that building block inside Learn. But when you get in there and then you're gonna choose that you're using Connect, it's gonna make that connection. Okay, so I would wait till you get in there to see that. There's lots of building blocks out there for all kinds of functions in Learn, but we've really limited to, you know, some of them that we know we need, and others that I'm sure we'll learn about for a long time, but, you know, which one we would use or want, not sure. Right now, there's no attendance for, if you use Angel to take attendance for your on-campus classes, there is no attendance in Blackboard Learn. It's coming, it's on the roadmap, been on the roadmap, I have no idea when it will arrive, but, you know, in online courses, we don't take attendance that way because it's about submissions and interaction and your discussions, whenever you post and those things. But in on-campus class, right now, people are saying, well, I haven't learned, how do I do that? And I go, well, you still have your Angel course shell, you can go take your attendance there, that's what I'm doing. But other than that, you'd have to go back to some other method, Excel spreadsheet, check marks on a goldenrod, but that is not making anyone happy. But, you know, I'm participating personally in numerous Blackboard related lists and serves and providing feedback. And so the attendance has been talked about numerous times, and they know they need to release it and get it finished. So I know it's in the works, and let's hope before June it's here. But if not, we all might have to live, if we take attendance another way, we just have to live without that method for, you know, it seems a little odd that, I never realized that they wouldn't have them, but it's true. So there's some other features like that that you might not see. And hopefully the ones they do have will outweigh the items they don't. Yes.
Do they have user agents like they did in Angel?
They do have, one thing they do have is a really nice retention center, that you can kind of set up things to watch for your students, and it'll, you know, you can monitor certain things and send messages. It will do some auto tracking. So, yes and no, because it has some, but it's a little limited. Like the reports we run in Angel, we can make lots of choices. They have preset reports. There's not customization of reports, but they have good reports. I haven't had a problem needing something I couldn't get, but we don't have all those choices. They've decided what reports that apparently we should run, and then to do that. So there is the agents in that, and you can do you can have it set up a whole course to release based on a student having to get a grade on one item, must view something, you can do those kind of
Okay, so
releases.
if they submit something, you can open up a Dropbox.
Yeah,
or there's
but it
notifications.
just- It works a little differently.
Okay. As
So
long as
it's
it
not the
works
same, they're kind of similar.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Timeline.
Okay, so, again, these were some resources here, and I know it's 5 to 3 here. So again, where I was, this is also a section on just, you can see just, these are all just videos, documentation. I listed to the link to the FAQs here. These are things we've created, copying course content, checklist to get your course ready is right here. That, again, was in the how-to videos and documentation, how to get your course ready. And more things about the grade book, evaluation, items on the content collection and explore, how to communicate with your students. So we have it for you, and during this training and, over this semester, you don't need to overwhelm yourself, need to know where all this is today, but this is the place you can go. We have we have videos, documentation, and, we know if you do participate throughout the workshops, we have this all set and ready to be worked into your training. But it's all here for you right now. Migration to Blackboard learning, we've gotten questions. What is Blackboard? Why are we doing this? When will I migrate? What types of training? So we've answered some questions to the best that we can. And so it's all in this, what we're calling our migration resources section. Here's the SLN training descriptions and registration if you want to do the workshops through the SUNY Learning Network. And this is just our final phase, migration. We've done a timeline, dates, what you should do when. She's mapped it all out here. So, it's here. She's going to be communicating with Group C, whoever signs up, throughout this process. So that's why we're trying to get people signed up. We don't want to continue to keep sending messages to the whole college community when maybe it's only, we're at what, 120, 117 are signed up right now? That's a lot of people. But I'm sure we'll have some more, but it's those folks who are concerned with this. There's lots of people that have already done it and probably don't want to get inundated with our messages. There's a lot of staff who could care less about reading about what we need to do to migrate our content. So that's why we're trying to get this group together. C, it makes it easier for us to have those communications with only the people who are interested and would possibly look at them. Kyle, did you get the message about the adjunct documentation that I emailed yesterday? I emailed it to all the division chairs, asking for them to forward the content.
Oh, yeah, I sent it to the coordinators.
That came out of a recommendation from an LTAC meeting,
Yeah.
stating, we know adjuncts oftentimes don't read the communications via the college, so we're hoping, and being that program coordinators sometimes know of alternate communications. So we're hoping that that will reach some more who may be confused, or just don't know, does this mean me? And also, Eunice is gonna work on how we can do a mailing, so hopefully they're also gonna get a home mailing. So anybody, if you do have anyone that asks you, does this mean me? If they are asking you, does this mean me? Just tell them yes, and they need to get in contact with us. Because if that means they have content that they're worried about. So yes, it means everyone, it's the final phase, and we really, we're trying to cover our bases too, and want to make sure everyone has plenty of time. I really don't want to see somebody tell us that they've got a summer course on May 20th, or whatever it might start, and say, I don't know how to use Blackboard Learn, I don't know, where's my content, just that kind of mad rush, or even worse, it's a summer 2 session, and we're like, well, now we have a problem because we don't have your course. And even though they'll do an entire backup of our system again, it's there, but it's not going to be cheap to retrieve anything. So anyone who could help us to get the word out, we would greatly appreciate that. I'm going to say that to the camera. If you could help us, anyone who she's videotaping this is enough, who can help us to get this word out, as long as they at least get in contact with me and Donna, we'll get them on the right path. But if they are asking, does this mean me? It means it probably is yes, because they have content. And if they want it, if they don't, it's fine. But, June 1st is the deadline, it's gone, so. Any other questions?
Would you